Welcome to Ewa Diamond Interviews, where we celebrate extraordinary women who are reshaping the world of tech. In each conversation, we spotlight authentic stories of women taking bold leaps, breaking barriers, and influencing the future of industry. Today, I'm thrilled to have Sandy Yu with me, a former Oracle and Cisco executive who had the courage to walk away from the corporate world and reinvent herself as a founder, advisor, and global thought leader. Welcome, Sandy. I'm so happy to have you today.
Thank you so much for having me, Uli. I'm excited to be here.
Absolutely. I know you've spent over a decade in leadership roles at Oracle and Cisco. What did success look like at that point of your life, and what ultimately pushed you to leave everything behind and start something fresh?
Yeah, I think what success look like in big companies that I've been in, like that you mentioned, is progression. It's promotions. It's getting bigger titles, getting bigger teams, and maybe more RSUs, and obviously more salary. And those are very externally noticeable metrics that you can have for yourself. But internally, I also measure my success am I learning and am I growing? So I've chosen to grow horizontally. I've been in strategy, I've been in product management, I've been in sales, I've been in marketing. So that's how I measure my success. With each role that I have, am I expanding my knowledge? Am I expanding who I am as a person? So there's the great external metrics, but there's also internal metrics for me.
Did you feel that you stopped growing and you made a leap of faith? What really pushed you to make a decision like, I'm done? Because I hear so many stories from women that are scared to take that leap and something is bothering them. They're not growing, but what pushed you to really make that change?
Yeah, I really have a lot of empathy for women that have over 20 years of experience, let's say. We've worked so hard our corporate career, but in my mind, I felt like at least for me personally, all the roles that were interesting to me were very narrow. As I mentioned, it was important to me to grow different types of skill sets as I progress in my career, leading people. But to me, they wanted me to continue to specialize and make it narrow and narrow. And I just felt like I couldn't, flex all the muscles that I've built over the years. It was really, really frustrating because I've demonstrated that I could pivot and change. I didn't want to work in the same vertical. I didn't want to work in the same business. At Oracle, I went from SaaS applications to Oracle Cloud because I want to learn about the cloud. And so that continuous learning was really important to me. And I think as you get bigger, they really wanted you to specialize. You may have a larger span of control, more people, but what you're working on becomes very narrow. And so that wasn't appealing to me. For me, I'm pretty practical. What made me decide to take the leap was, did I have the funds? So fortunately, my partner and husband works full time. And these are real things you have to consider. My partner husband works full time. Our insurance is with him. My kids at the time, they were 16 years old. So they're more independent and started learning how to drive. So I could have more flexibility. And I think the thing that really pushed me over the edge is, I have two young girls. If I'm going to ask them to take a risk in their future, whatever comes their way, whether it's school or career, I feel like I am showing them what it looks like to take a risk. I'm showing them what it looks like to do, honestly, the scariest thing possible, because I even had to overcome some limiting belief that my stepfather taught me. Never own a business. And it comes from, a place of love, because it is hard to own your own business. But I really felt that if I wanted them to have the courage to take a risk, I need to take that risk myself. So it's all those reasons I decided to start my own business.
It's so beautiful. It is a bold move. And, that's why there's so many women that are scared to do that. And that's why I'm so excited to hear, how did you leap through it? And it looks like your girls pushed you because you wanted to show by example. And Question about what was the scariest part of walking away from the security status, corporate career to start something on your own?
I think it's a stability, knowing the paycheck is coming, knowing that I have team that I can lean on when things aren't working, and having all the resources, like having my own business, something simple as, look, I need a tech stack for my little business, right? Like I'm using 12 things. I have Zoom, I have Outlook, I have Gamma, I have, OpenAI. Like I have my own tech stack. Printing is not free.
That's true.
Sorry, company, but printing is not free. But so I think there's a lot of things that you don't realize you're used to. But honestly, Uli, I tell you, it's so invigorating. I would not recommend this. I did not have a business plan when I left. I just decided to do and try and join communities. I do not recommend that, although it did give me time to explore what was the right thing to start. I was very proud that I made my own website, very proud that I made my own LinkedIn banner, all the things. Like everything is new, and because learning is a core value to me, that was my version of fun. Okay, there's like the other side too. So we'll have to make sure to tell the full story, not just the pretty side.
No, absolutely. And I think that's what I wanted to ask you, because in the beginning, right, of any business, when you started on your own, and I am actually love that you didn't have a business plan, because when you come with a empty canvas, right, you go out and you research and you do so much talking and building relationships, where business plans sometimes put you in a little bit of a narrow scope. But question about the early days when the money and recognition were not there yet. How did you find your self-worth? And I know you and I talked about it a lot outside of this interview. Like, what motivated you to keep going, and what doubts did you have? And that's a big journey.
Because I didn't have a business plan. I just went out and went to different communities, and fortunately, I'm a pretty outgoing person, so I tend to participate. So after about 3 months, I became someone with a perspective. So people invited me to be on panels and webinars, and I even got to speak at a conference in London and New York. So that's very lucky. But then I looked at my bank account. I said, where's the money? I got to do all those things, advise companies, equity, but no cash. Where is my cash? So I'll be very transparent. The very first year of my business, I made $700 for the whole year. Wow. Now, I don't know when was the last time you made $700. For me, it was 12 years old.
Yes, the same, I think.
From babysitting, right? From babysitting. And I probably made more than that from babysitting, because I babysit the whole year. That was really hard. That was, I have to be honest, it's so hard because, after having the success, if you will, in the corporate world, being recognized and known for, good accolades, right? I didn't really know what my value, like, what am I worth if I'm not my title and, and my salary? It was super hard. I had to get help, in talking to more people. And after the first year, I actually ran out of funds. So I had to take on a 6 months contract where I can make the money that I want. So it's not always rosy, but I'm back in 2025. I feel even more invigorated. After having been in that contract in a corporate environment again, I was like, yep, now I know this is definitely not for me.
Yeah.
And so I think how you get through it is really, I ask for help a lot. There's some techniques that you can do. I continue to learn from people about how to grow and fail and keep going and build my own resilience. But I think community is tremendously important. I'm very fortunate to be part of women's communities like yours, that are not just encouraging, but also they open up their networks for me. And so I think to get through the hard times, it's reaching out, I got professional help. I also try to do journaling. I also do meditation. I also do exercise. Like I listen to all these podcasts. That's my shortcut for learning. Anybody come up with a new book, they're going to be on some podcast, right? Listen to the podcast. They tell you all the good pieces. And so these are the things. I don't think we don't know what to do to pull ourselves out. But we really have to prioritize doing them. I really prioritize my exercise. I really prioritize, meditation. I need to prioritize more my sleep, but that's a different story. So I think it's the combination of that. It's having community, and community takes time to build, right? You can't just not talk to someone for 6 months and then say, hey, can you help me? I think you can, but it's your responsibility to build your community. And so fortunately, I have so many wonderful women that I can lean on either as a group or personally. So I think that's what's getting me through.
It's beautiful, Sandy. I'm hearing a lot of learnings from your experience. The first one is not being in your head, because there's so many doubts, because, you look at the facts and then we are our own enemy, right? So what you did, you actually, instead of kind of thinking inwards, you went outside, and all these things that you tried to like block the noise, that the voice in the head, right? That was saying, maybe you're not good enough, we'll go back.
Oh,
Even
100%.
Even try the corporate career, and then you just like prove yourself right, that I did the right thing. And I feel like this is us as women. Sometimes we shy away from asking for help and actually being helpful, even in moments where you need the most help. I've noticed with you always out there helping others, and they lean towards your energy. And I think your energy and your kind of no is not an answer, and I'm always going to try and keep trying, is a big deal. And that's why you're now in this path of success. Question about your journey when you started thinking that, okay, these are my superpowers, right? Maybe, and it would be nice to know what they are. How did you take that superpowers and then transform your business? And if you go back to no business plan today, would that be the same business plan if you would put it out in a year and a half ago when you started?
Yeah, I think it's the business that I thought I was going to have was going to be helping small like dentists, doctors, lawyers, offices, like helping like physical stores on how to actually keep their customers, because I'm all about retention and customer-led growth. So I went and talked to them. I joined the Chamber of Commerce, and I had no idea what that was. Like, you being in corporate, you're like, Chamber of Commerce, what did they even do? So I met them, I talked to them, and I very quickly realized the work that I do is not suitable for those type of businesses. So I guess my point is you have to be willing to experiment and to think about how you want to experiment and time bound that. You had asked me what my superpower. I think when I'm in a good space, good mental space, I can be super optimistic. I literally woke up this morning. I thought, oh, I could do this. I can connect that. And I very naturally, when I meet people, I think about, well, who would it be good for Uli to connect with? What would be helpful for her personally? What would be helpful for her professionally? Because I feel like we're just a few connections away from what we need. I'll give you a true story. I'm doing a round the world tour on the go-to-market workshops for CROs to help them fix their revenue leaks. I don't know anybody in Amsterdam and Copenhagen. So I started by responding to someone who reached out to me on LinkedIn. And she said, hey, we're kind of doing the same thing. And then she didn't know anybody in Copenhagen, but she met someone through LinkedIn that was doing a podcast with someone in Copenhagen. We talked, and now I'm doing a workshop at their office.
Wow. That's
It's
amazing.
like, it's so I think, networking is definitely my superpower. Being positive is also superpower, but that's developed. I want people to know both of those things. Those are muscles, which means you can train them, right? So when I get depressed, the first thing that I do is name all the things that have gone right. And there's one thing that we can always name that has gone right. We woke up today. We have our health. You and I live in the Bay Area where it's super sunny, right? I mean, there's so many things that are going right for us and that we don't take notice of. And when you start naming them, you're like, oh my gosh, all these things are super good. And so, I mean, that's your gym exercise for being positive, right? Really noticing. For me, I have a daily gratitude practice with my family. We go around the dinner table. We talk about what we're grateful for. Sometimes it's family. Sometimes a really good grade in class. Sometimes for me, it's like, hey, I got a contract, or I got a new connection. I got someone to offer to let me do my workshop in their office for free in Copenhagen. That's incredible, right? So I think build that sense of positivity and gratitude, and honestly think of it as an exercise.
Yeah, no, it's so beautiful, Sandy. I think like the focus on positive is always there, like sitting and waiting for you, but you can choose, right? It's you choosing. You're going to go positive or negative, right? And if you really look at and break it down there, your starting business, celebrate small wins, right? When you don't have the money, but there's so much you've done the groundwork, right? This networking, the people that you meet every day, their stories and how they're going to impact your life, you never know. It's a ripple effect of connection, right? And it's so nice to see that you've shifted from that, okay, like I am enjoying it, it's great, you're shifting your business, but also you've been completely bold and audacious, going in for and leaping to things that you've never tried, right? You've never talked to the commerce and other areas. And I feel like today your business, right, is a corporate advisory, right, and a workshops where
Yes.
you see the gap, you see your superpowers, and you also read the crowd so well. So for you, being in a workshop environment that gives you that, like all three superpowers come together naturally, and you connect them all, and you see the problem, right, and then strategy, how to solve it, the gap of revenue retention.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think for a lot of women, this is not, it's so personalized, right? I'm naturally outgoing. So I lean into my superpower, like engaging and facilitating. But for those that are more analytics, right? For those that are more writing, like I would say, what would you do if you would do for free? What is the thing that you will do for free? And then talk to other people, because what you can do, no one else can. Even if it's the same thing with writing. Maybe you're really writing like long research papers. Some people are writing good at marketing, ads. So, and sometimes if you don't know what you're really good at, ask.
Yeah.
And think about what have people promoted you for if you've been in a corporate environment. What do people keep saying about you? It's like, Uli, you're so good at leadership. You're amazing at synthesizing complex ideas. Okay. And then you're like, how much would people pay for that?
I love that. I love that, like asking people, tell me about me. What are my strong suits? Where do you feel that I can really excel? I think those interviews are important when you're starting your new business. And from your perspective, if you look back on the time that you just started, what advice would you give to yourself, knowing that where you are today with all these workshops, but just maybe one or two things you would have said to yourself?
Well, I think I would say, know that it's going to work out and really stress less.
I love it.
We're, honestly, for most of us, we're not in war-torn countries, right? Um, everything can be figured out. And if you treat your business as an adventure, right? We're choosing our own adventure. And instead of thinking, oh, I talk to a lot of women too, like maybe I made a mistake. Then just think about your choices. Do you want to spend your time applying to roles that are 3 levels beneath you, working for someone that you may or may not respect, or look in the mirror and see your boss and say, hey, boss, what should we do today? Right? So they're both hard. Even if you're not looking for a job, even if you're in a job, is that the day you want to have? And then if you could, would you want to try? And can you try it just like I did in a very safe fashion? Of course, I ran out of money, but set aside the funding that you need to try the ideas you want, because fast forward 20 years from now, would you rather that you have tried, or would you rather that you haven't tried?
Yeah.
And so I would say, Sandy, just know that it's going to work out. Be present and just take one more step, right? Just do one more arm curl, just one more. And you never know what's going to take you.
Absolutely. And you know what you said was very good about definition of success, right? What is really going to make you happy? You know what and the reason why you left, the unsatisfaction, unhappiness, the money was there, but that was not definition of your success and happiness, right? And I feel that having that, honest conversation with yourself, like, what do you really want? Writing things down, prioritizing, and then celebrating little things, little wins. And, I'm celebrating you now, knowing that you're doing this world tour, traveling, meeting new people, being in your element. So congratulations of your leap.
Thank you so much.
I'm so happy we spotlighted your story. I hope that a lot of women will get inspired, make that leap, think about what they want and the happiness, and join our entrepreneur world.
Yes, I would say, as I say, I'm a connector. Reach out to me. If you type in Sandy U Revenue, I should be the first one. I look just like this. But then because when I meet you, I'm going to say, well, how can I connect you with the person that's going to help you the most? It's not me that's going to be helping you. It's someone else that I know, or someone that Uli knows, that's going to be able to help you either get feedback, opportunities, or like even just a little inspiration.
Yes, I love it, Sandy. Thank you so much. I hope to see you again in person soon, and I would love to be in your workshop because I am in the revenue. But,
yes.
Very excited to get to know you more, and wishing you all success in your new business.
Thank you so much. And I hope every woman will untether their self-worth from their title and their salaries, because we're all perfect the way we are. We can strive, but we don't have to like beat ourselves up for it, right? Just, go after what we want. Why not? What do the kids say? YOLO, you only live once.
Yes, I absolutely agree. Yes, let's leap. And also, we are good enough, right?
Exactly. We're more than good enough. We're awesome. Badass.
Perfect. Thank you, Sandy. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Lee. Talk to you soon.